welcome back to StarrSoaps channel. How are you today? I'm doing good. Today you're getting a 2-for-1. That's right, I'm making 2 double batches for you today. The first is going to be rose geranium and the second is going to be peppermint. Mintaz, bro. So come along with me and I'll show you how I make them. Squee! So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix my oils and goat milk together before I add my cooled lye water. And the first batch we're doing is the rose geranium. And we're going to be making 1 big loaf and 1 little loaf. So the big loaf are my regular bars that I sell for $6 New Zealand each, and the little ones are for a wholesale order, and I sell them to a shop in New Plymouth called Maryland's Lotto and Post Shop. So if you're from Taranaki and you're in New Plymouth and you want to find some StarrSoaps, that's where you can go to find them, at the Maryland's shopping centre. So yeah, I've mixed in my rose and geranium essential oils and a little bit of a rose fragrance oil as well going in there now. And I've got a little bit of red Bordeaux mica and a little bit of pink berries mica, and they're organised into some little a cup and a jug, and already mixed up in olive oil. So I'm just pouring in my soap and getting it ready to mix up, and a little bit of titanium dioxide is going into the base to make it white, just like I always put in. I've got my titanium dioxide pre-mixed in water and glycerin, and it's about a 20-80 ratio, 20 glycerin and 80 water with my titanium dioxide, which makes it really, really good and blends beautifully into the soap. So now I'm just mixing with the spatula to get those colorants well dispersed. The Bordeaux mica is quite deep, almost like a Merlot, and this pink berries is also sort of a darker pink. I've got another lighter shade of it as well. So I'm going for 2 colours that I think represent beautiful roses in my rose geranium soap, and I'm just going to pour my white soap into the mould and then go back through with my coloured soap and do sort of like a drop swirl, which I'll then come back through with my hanger tool and hanger swirl. So that'll be pretty cool. So the way I'm doing this, as you can see, is that I fill one pretty much all the way to the top and fill the other one about 3/4 of the way, maybe a bit less than that. And they end up being the shorter bars. So that way I could actually sell them to them at the wholesale price that they were wanting and still make a profit at my end as well. So that's cool. And now I'm actually making little tiny little hotel size bars as well. So I actually have 3 sizes that I have my soaps in. My large, medium and tiny. So that's pretty cool. So I'm just going through now with the hanger tool and giving it a pretty swirly swirl. And then coming back across the top with the skewer on the large bar, which is completely full, so I don't really have any room to put any more in. But I'm not doing that on the small bar because I can still do a little bit more across the top and try and get just a little bit more of a pretty swirl. I splashed a teeny bit on the big one, but like I say, it's at full capacity. So I'm just going to come back through and give them a really pretty swirly top, and then it will be time to put on the toppers. Squeeze! So as you saw, I put on some little tiny hand molded flower toppers onto the big bars, and I piped the last little bit of soap onto the little ones along one side. So now I'm just showing you how the swirl turned out, and isn't it beautiful? That Bordeaux red is a lot darker, a lot more almost terracotta, almost brown, and that dark pink is stunning against it. So I'm really happy how that turned out. I love my little flowers on top. I think they're great. The only thing I'll do next time is put more of them on there. And if you want to learn how to make your own moldable soap dough, I will leave a link to that tutorial below and you can go and check it out. So now it's time to cut the smaller one, but it's too soft, so I actually skipped the cutting of that one. Sorry guys. Here it is in the curing rack. I've got the big bars and the little bars. They smell amazing. They look so cute. I probably wouldn't pipe all the way to one side next time. I'd probably like do it in the middle. So that's another little thing that I learned from this batch. And they're really nice soaps. I'm actually really happy with them. They cured out really nice and the scent is gorgeous. I really like that rose. It's so good and very realistic. So now we're on to the next batch. We're adding our cooled lye water to this lot. This is going to be the peppermint, and I didn't have very much peppermint essential oil, so I actually took some menthol crystals, about a teaspoon of menthol crystals to what was to be about 1.5 kgs of soap, and that created a really lovely minty soap. So I'm really happy with that. I'll probably keep doing that and do that again in the future. Just make sure that you check the usage rates if you're going to use menthol crystals. You really don't want to overdo it. You could really burn someone's skin, you know what I mean? Like if you've ever put too much peppermint oil on yourself or anything, you probably know what I'm talking about. I personally had an experience when I was very young. I put some essential oil into a bath and I thought I was being all la-di-da. I think I would have been about 7 years old at the time, and I put like half a bottle of my mum's peppermint essential oil into my bath, and then I hopped in, and at first I was fine, but like within a few minutes I started to feel burning, and then when I jumped out of the bath I couldn't get it off my skin properly, and I was like shivering cold and also kind of had a burning sensation all over, and it was horrible. So because of that, I'm super aware of what strong peppermint things can do. So just check your usage rates, people. We don't want to hurt people. So I've got my lovely light pea green mica here, and that's all ready to go now. And I'm just going to do what I've been doing with heaps of my soaps lately, where I use mostly white and then I just pour in the colorant and give it a bit of a hanger swirl. I love it because it's pretty quick and simple once you get the hang of it, and it's always a surprise when you go to cut the soap. You never know how that swirl's going to turn out, and I love that part of it. It's like a lucky dip every time. So yeah, gotta love hanger swirls. I'm totally all about them at the moment, and if you've been watching my videos lately, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and do a swirly top on these as well, and put some round ball toppers on them too, also made with that soapy dough I mentioned before. And then we're going to cut these ones and see how that swirl turns out. Wow. I just couldn't be happier with that. Those swirls are amazing. And I really love those green toppers. They're a lovely soft shade of green and they kind of remind me of snifters, which were a candy we used to get when I was younger. We used to often get them when we went to the movies and things like that. They had a peppermint shell and then it was chocolate and then on the inside was like a peppermint chewy nougat. Oh, snifters. Bring back snifters. Hashtag bring back snifters. So these swirls turned out amazing. That peppermint soap was quite a lot thinner than that rose soap was. And that means the colour went right down to the bottom. And that also means we've got swirl going like all over the whole bar. Whereas with the rose and geranium before, you might have noticed that the swirl only seemed to go to about halfway down the bar. That's due to how thick the soap was getting because florals always thicken things up and you just have to move really, really fast. But with this peppermint, it stayed lovely and fluid. And I got some really interesting swirls here. I can't even tell you what I think I see there. But tell me, leave a comment below. I absolutely love reading the things that you guys see in my soap. It is just so cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed making these batches of soap. I've been rushing through making heaps lately, trying to get prepared for the next big order that's coming for my wholesale order, and also just trying to make sure my regular bars are stocked up for future markets and for my regular customers so that I'm just keeping everybody happy. I've also been thinking recently about listing a bunch of these little hotel soaps on Trade Me, which is New Zealand's version of eBay, in any hopes that maybe some local accommodation and motels and things like that might be keen to pick them up and stock Starr soap in their hotels, because that would be cool. So here we have a picture of the big loaf of rose geranium, so pretty, and then another picture with both the loaves side by side and some orange zest that I made as well. Like I say, I've been on a roll. I loved how it looked wet. And I love how these bars looked. The finished bars with these little flowers on top are awesome. Like I say, I just want more flowers. But these ones with the weird piping on the side, I'm not so sure about. I kind of think they'd look prettier if the piping was in the middle. But hey. And now we're going to cut to some video of the peppermint soap up in the curing rack. And it smells so good, guys. I'm absolutely loving it. There was that little touch of peppermint essential oil that went in, but mainly it's that mentholy smell. Very, very nice, very bright and waking you up and kind of like clearing you out if you're feeling snotty or whatever. I had some extra soap left over when I made the peppermint ones, so this is what I used it for. We've got a couple of little peppermint fairies and we've got a peppermint skull. And this week I'd like to highlight Amy G. Turner and her shamrock soap that she shared. Luck of the Irish soap, I think she called it. These are beautiful, beautiful little shamrocks with gorgeous green mica and gold mica painted on. And they are just packaged beautifully as well. So here they are out of the package so you can get a real good look. If you would like your photo to be highlighted, then please share it in our group over on Facebook called StarrSoaps Family. I would love to have you as a member and I love to see your creativity. So come and show me your pickies. If you enjoyed watching this video of these two double batches, then please feel free to hit that subscribe button down below, become a member of the StarrSoaps family, and feel that soapy love. Love you guys. Rock on. Bye.